Hello, this is Lyle Thompson. I'm making this video because Ronald Evans, Mr. Podcast Extraordinaire, he threw out his hat and challenged me and the other boys to make up an ALS challenge. And I'm happy to do that and happy to donate the $100. But first, I kind of wanted to talk about ALS for a second. I don't think a whole lot of people actually knew, like up to 2 weeks ago, what it really was. I'm going to try to make this quick. When I was younger, my neighbor, he had ALS, and as a young person to see that it was pretty intense. You know, you can imagine he was, I would want to say in his late teens, early 20s. But most of the time when you see him, he was in a wheelchair or on the end of a couch. But mentally, I think, and I don't know how to really put this well, when you seen him, he would be kind of ashamed. He didn't like to be looked at. And to me, I didn't really understand it quite well back then. But as I'm older, it's even that much more heartbreaking. You know, to walk into a room and see somebody cowering off to the side and just, don't look at me, you know, kind of mumbling it out, and you don't really understand what he's saying. But you could kind of make the gist of it, you know, and it's a horrible disease. And I just would like people to know that, you know, anything you can do to help is wonderful. You know, if it's $10, $50, $100, you know, it's a great cause. And for something that's been around as long as it has, it's really surprising that there isn't a cure already. But with that said, and I wanted to throw one more thing out. Hopefully, you guys, come October time, when we do our thing with the podcast and raise money for Children's Hospital, hopefully you guys could save a little bit, throw a couple dollars their way. You know, it's a great charity, and all the money that when we do our extra life goes straight to the kids. So anyway, well, let's get to the challenge. Ron, this is for you. This is really actually for you. So
The ALS Epic Super Challenge from the Spacepod.
well, Ron, I guess it's time for my challenge. So I figured ice buckets are great. Yeah, I loved the rice challenge. The rice challenge was great. I almost thought about top ramen or something I could throw in my head. I even went to almost the thought of putting a bunch of CDs or even cassette tapes from the 80s in a 5-gallon bucket and dumping it on my head. But I got to thinking, what could even come close to the ice bucket challenge than a brain freeze challenge? So, and I thought to myself, what could be so delicious on this planet that would be that good to do it with? You guessed it. Oh, a DQ Blizzard. So good and delicious. The trick is all you do is you eat it until you get a brain freeze. Super simple to do. Let me tell you, the challenge would be like, I don't know, maybe 2 scoops, maybe 3 scoops after you get the brain freeze. The initial, God damn, this fucking hurts. Why did my mom ever submit me to this? And then when I go away, it's like, That's why. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to the podcast. Listen to it usually every Mondays. Rock and roll. Support us. Support Extra Life. Support ALS. Everybody wins.